Thanks very much, everybody, for joining us this afternoon on the last day of a rather epic adventure through this week with the 3-day international workshop and gap analysis and data requirements. Luckily, nothing else has been going on in the world that would distract us from all of our work. So we are all here to present the results of the meeting to you today. So I'm immediately going to hand over to Thomas, who will be leading you through the first presentation of the afternoon.
Thanks a lot, Claire, for the nice introduction. And just from my side, also a very warm welcome to this final open plenary session of the NanoHarmony workshop related to the international gap analysis and data requirements to support test guidelines and guidance development. On the first slide, you see that certainly NanoHarmony is not one person. We are quite a few. We started with the lockdown of the first wave of Corona. Now being on the second one, I hope that the next occasion that we have this kind of large meeting, it will be possible in a different way. So welcome from everybody all over the world to this webinar. And as usual, we have to start with some housekeeping. Please keep yourself muted during the presentations and during some of the discussions, and only unmute yourself when you are asked to and when we open up this to questions. You are always able and allowed to actually put in some comments, question marks, remarks, or anything within the chat functions. We will have a look at those, and we will take and consider this as much and as far as possible during this the course of the session. Additional comments, suggestions, and questions are more than happy to be welcomed and happy to receive. And if we are not able to deal with them during the workshop, we will try as much as possible to answer them after the workshop coming up. This webinar, as you noticed, is recorded. This is for support of the rapporteurs, and this is also to make the recording of the slides available after today. So next slide, please. I know that not everybody knows what an EU NMBP 34 project is. It's just a call, in this case, a call for coordination support action. So, and where 2 projects were funded. And one of the projects is NanoMet, and the other one is NanoHarmony. So you may click. And it means that NanoMet, the focus is on the coordination from the OECD side of these activities, which we were discussing during the last 2-3 days on TG developments for nanomaterials. And NanoHarmony is, on the other hand, supporting the development from the scientific activities, from the scientific end with the nano safety cluster, with all that, and with specific the developing the scientific background for specific test guidelines. So these 2 projects come up quite often during the next years, or will come up, so that you know that these are collaborating very closely together. I was muted, sorry, so I unmute myself. Do you hear me?
Yes, Thomas, I'm trying to hit the people coming in, but they keep moving.
Okay,
Right.
So in this case, to everybody who is coming in, I know they don't hear me now, but all who have already joined, please mute yourself as soon as possible. So with this kind of collaboration, next slide, please. We certainly have as NanoHarmony not only one task, which is the test guideline guidance document development, but also NanoHarmony has several other tasks. And especially there are so many different stakeholders, so many different information methods and so on available. So we have on the left-hand side something like a collection of different inputs. Activities like the Malta initiative or national initiatives, stakeholders, industry, science, regulatory bodies, which certainly have to say and which are important to include in the process of test guidelines and guidance document development. We have standardization bodies and, as said, available data sets. And NanoHarmony has 3 tasks, and accordingly 3 work packages actually working through those data and input to achieve the way forward. Certainly one way forward is new adopted OECD test guidelines and guidance documents, the focus of this workshop we had today. But we have also the way forward in view of improved cooperation between science, industry, standardization bodies, and faster implementation of scientific results into regulation. So this is a long-term building impact of NanoHarmony, which is where this workshop is one part of. Next slide, please. At this slide, you see that we have one task is develop and validate test methods. And on the lower end of the slide, you see that we have on the right-hand side the legislation, on the left-hand side the research. And one of the major tasks and things we try to achieve with NanoHarmony to bridge in a much better way in both directions, information flow from research to regulation, but also from regulation to research, to achieve the development, sound science development of practical and usable test guidelines and guidance documents for the safety assessment of nanomaterials. So the development of the test method is one of the tasks. Next click. And then the next one as well. Formation of a network to achieve this flow of information is important, and that we develop and work on the structure to translate science into test methods is certainly another topic to be worked on. Focus of the workshop today was actually to develop, click please, and validate test methods for OECD test guidelines. Please click. So this is the focus of the workshop and of the discussion this afternoon. It is important that we let you know that we worked on the details, and we had about 10 sessions during this workshop on specific topics taking place actually to do this. That means looking to get to look and see where we have data, where there is possibilities of participation, and therefore it was important to us to achieve you all internationally to work on this OECD test guidelines and guidelines. Next slide, please. So the aims of this session are pretty straightforward. Bridge science and harmonize testing for regulatory purposes, as said and explained before. Present the outcome of the NanoHarmony workshop sessions before. Inform you about ongoing test guideline development. Intensify cross discussions and the cooperation between the different activities, which we find very important that we are not only looking at one end. Please, everybody, mute yourself as soon as possible when you enter. Facilitate the international participation, and that was another aim of this workshop, and which we will see also in the upcoming presentation. Next slide, please. This is the agenda of the afternoon. During the first sessions, we already had 200 experts participating, and we had 14 sessions, 10 topics, 25 countries from 4 continents participating at these workshops, and additional 170 delegates wanted to take part in this today's session. Very welcome to all of you who are new, and welcome to all of the others as well. So use the chat function for comments, discuss today for clarify aspects of presentation, and we will have more detailed discussion on December 16th in the webinar as a follow-up discussion possibility and presentation possibility as well. So with that, I welcome you all